I started out with that story at the front of the book because if you're going to talk to other people about the crushings in their lives, you have to be willing to put yours up front too.
After staying quiet for many years, Juanita Bynum has finally spoken out. And what she said about Bishop T.D. Jakes leaving his position has shaken the church world. This is not just another goodbye. This feels personal. Her words revealed a truth that some people say has been growing for more than 20 years. When Bishop T.D. Jakes, one of the most powerful spiritual leaders of our time, said he was stepping down, the Christian world was shocked. But what made it even more surprising was what followed: a strong voice from the past, direct and unfiltered. Dr. Juanita Bynum, a powerful figure in her own right, finally spoke. And what she said was not just about his exit. It was about everything that led to it. In this story, we look deeply at the history between Juanita Bynum and T.D. Jakes. From their early days sharing big stages to the hidden tension between them. We will explore what really happened, what Juanita just revealed, and why this moment is more than just one leader stepping down. It feels like a reckoning. You will find out what caused the fallout, what spiritual and personal truths Juanita shared, and why her words brought up old conversations many people wanted to forget. Keep watching, because this story feels like a drama no one saw coming. And by the end, you will see it all in a new light. For years, Bishop T.D. Jakes was seen as a powerful voice in Christian leadership. His sermons were strong. His books sold millions. His Woman Thou Art Loosed conferences changed lives. To the world, he was a giant of faith, someone filled with wisdom, power, and grace. But behind the stage and the polished messages, Juanita Bynum saw something else. Something most people never questioned. Juanita Bynum was not just someone watching Jakes rise. She was part of the story. In fact, many people say Bishop Jakes helped launch her into fame after she preached her powerful No More Sheets sermon at one of his major conferences. It was raw. It was honest. It was what many women needed to hear. But behind the scenes, whispers of tension began. Sources close to them say Juanita and Bishop Jakes had very different views on ministry, honesty, and the role of spiritual leaders. Jakes believed in keeping a careful image and staying quiet in public. Juanita, always brave with her words, believed truth should always be shared, even when it is uncomfortable. And this is where things get interesting. In private, Juanita warned about something she saw growing in the church. She called it celebrity culture. Big pastors living like kings, church members giving money blindly, conferences that looked more like shows than places to heal. She never named Jakes back then, but people close to them say the tension was real. So while the public saw two powerful leaders walking in unity, the truth was more complex. Their respect for each other was clear, but their values were different. And when Bishop Jakes said he was stepping down, Juanita Bynum did not give the usual polite response. She spoke her truth. But what exactly did she say? And why did she wait all these years to say it? Keep reading. Because what Juanita revealed about the man many called America's pastor will surprise you. As time went on, Juanita stayed quiet about Bishop Jakes. Her silence became a heavy weight. Then one day, she finally spoke. Her words were not just a reaction to his exit. They reflected everything she had seen and felt over the years. She did not attack or speak with anger. She brought something deeper. She brought clarity. In a direct interview, Juanita began to speak the truth about the spiritual world many people only saw from the outside. She was confident. She did not hold back. She talked about what happens when success becomes more important than spiritual work. Her message was this: Too often, spiritual leaders are treated like perfect idols, but trying to keep that image can destroy the heart of the ministry. It became clear she was not just talking about Jakes. She was calling out a whole system, the kind that cares more about fame than faith. People want to feel inspired. They want to feel healed. But what happens when the healing stops and only the image remains? She asked. Juanita was not just talking about Jakes stepping down. She was questioning everything. What do you do when your ministry becomes more about branding than calling? There was no scandal, no rumors, but her message was still powerful. She was calling out a system that had lost its way. And this, she said, is why she was not shocked by Jake stepping down. She explained, some people think they can do everything, but the pressure can break you. Leaders get worn down by expectations and loneliness. Juanita said this message was not just about T.D. Jakes. It was a warning for all leaders. The most shocking thing was not just what she said. It was when she said it. Why now? Did she see this coming years ago? Or did something in her own journey lead her to finally speak? She went on to talk about the high price many spiritual leaders pay. Fame and success can cost them their peace. In Jakes' case, it was not just about quitting. It was about a system that made leaders feel trapped. And then came the biggest surprise. Was his exit really about needing rest? Or was there a deeper truth? Juanita's next words shocked everyone. It was not about a scandal. It was about something deeper. She paused, thought for a moment, then said what no one expected. His ministry had become a monster, a weight too heavy to carry. Everyone went silent. To understand this, we have to look at what Jakes built. Over the years, his ministry grew into a global brand. He was not just a pastor. He was a businessman, a name that stretched into books, television, and film. But Juanita said all that power came with a cost. The empire around Jakes, in her view, could not last. It was not just the public life that drained him. It was the non-stop pressure. The system expected perfection. When you cannot keep up, you fall apart. Juanita had seen it before. Many leaders lost their true calling because they were too busy keeping up their image. Her point was clear. Keeping up with people's demands, always being in the spotlight, and chasing growth becomes a trap. It becomes about survival. Her words cut deep. Leaders were being eaten alive by the very thing they built. And this was not just a warning. It was the truth. She said, when you are in a system that wants you to grow nonstop and always be seen, you lose touch with what really matters. Juanita was not just talking to Jakes. She was talking to every leader of big churches who had turned their ministries into businesses. So why did Jakes finally step down? Juanita said it was simple. He hit a wall. The price of keeping up the brand was too high. After years of stress, he realized he had to ask himself, is it worth it? And then she said something deeper. It is not just the body that gets tired. It is the spirit. When you build something that grows bigger than you, it can crush you. Juanita said many leaders are surrounded by people who never say no. No one challenges them. No one helps them stay grounded. Fear of losing fame or power keeps them trapped in roles that no longer fit. She knew this pain too well. You cannot pour from an empty cup, she said. Sooner or later, the mask slips. The truth always comes out. But the most shocking part was yet to come. Juanita said the real pressure did not just come from inside. It came from the people around Jakes, the gossip, the politics, the hidden power struggles. Even in the church, she said, some people care more about power than about serving. Then she dropped one last bombshell. Sometimes, the people closest to you are not there for the right reasons. She was not just talking about Jakes' team. She was talking about high-level church leadership in general. People love you when you're on top, but the moment you fall, they walk away, she said. By this point, she had shown us the real pain spiritual leaders face. A life where their purpose gets lost in the machine they created. So what happens now for T.D. Jakes? Juanita looked at the big picture. She spoke about Jakes' legacy. He had built something huge, filled with influence and wealth. But no legacy is perfect. What happens to Jakes' legacy when he steps back? She was honest. A legacy is supposed to live on after you. But when it is based on your name and personality, it becomes a heavy burden. When Jakes steps away, everyone feels it. Not just his church, but the media and the businesses built around him. She admitted he had created a multi-million-dollar empire. His church, the Potter's House, became a cultural icon. His books sold out. His events drew huge crowds. His TV shows reached millions. He became more than a preacher. He became a brand. But now, the big question is, can that legacy survive without him? Juanita said, a real legacy should be about values, not just one person. Then she asked something that hit hard. If Jakes' brand is so closely tied to him, can the legacy survive? The story did not stop there. Juanita spoke about what Jakes' exit means for the whole church world. When someone like him steps down, it shakes the system. Not just his own ministry, but the whole world of mega churches. The big question now is, who comes next? Replacing a leader like Jakes will not be easy. She said others will now feel pressure to keep things going. But here is where it gets interesting. The world is changing, and so is the church. Juanita said, the big church model is being questioned. People no longer want flashy leaders. They want real ones. She pointed to a new kind of leader. One that is honest. One that truly connects with people. One that focuses on helping others, not promoting themselves. This is the future, she said. Jakes built something amazing, but the future is not about building empires. It is about helping people where they are. Her message was clear. T.D. Jakes belongs to a different time, a time that is now changing. Still, she said the future is uncertain. The effects of Jakes stepping down will be felt for years. Then came the final question. What is next for T.D. Jakes? Juanita said many leaders do not fully walk away. They just move into new roles. She believed Jakes was too powerful to disappear. He will find a new way to be seen, she said. He might still shape his legacy in a new way, maybe through media or speaking or something else. But will his future be as big as his past? Will he be able to change? Or is he too tied to who he used to be? Juanita's words gave us something deeper to think about. It is not just about Jakes. It is about how church leadership is changing, especially in the African American community. She asked, what happens when our trusted leaders begin to leave? Young people grew up with Jakes as the face of the church. Now, things are different. Today, church leaders must be open, honest, and emotionally aware. Not just good speakers. She talked about how social media lets people see pastors as human. With that comes both love and criticism. Juanita said, this is the shift the church needs. Pastors must now be honest and accountable. But she also said, change is hard. The old way still holds power. The question is not just who replaces Jakes, but how the church itself must change. She believed the church has a chance now to lead with honesty and faith. Even though she respects Jakes, she said the church must grow. Jakes gave us an empire, but the future is about healing and growth, she said. She asked the church to reflect. to look at how leaders are prepared, how they are kept accountable, and how they can lead in a world that is changing fast. Juanita Bynum's message is not just about Jake's stepping down. It is a wake-up call, a challenge to build something better. So what do you think? Is the church ready to lead in a new way? Let us know in the comments. Click like, subscribe for more updates, and share this message with others. Thank you for watching. Until next time.